Siberia is not merely a frozen land stretching east of the Ural Mountains. In the strategic mindset of the Kremlin, it is the very heart of power that has determined Russia's survival for centuries. From the era of the Russian Empire, through the Soviet Union, to modern-day Russia under Vladimir Putin, Siberia has always been viewed as a land of existential importance. It is no coincidence that Moscow continues to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure, military bases, and massive energy projects in one of the harshest environments on Earth. What truly worries the United States is not only Siberia's immense size of more than 13 million square kilometers, but also its ability to allow Russia to sustain a prolonged war of attrition in any major conflict. Throughout history, both Napoleon and Hitler failed because they could not overcome Russia's enormous strategic depth. Today, Siberia continues to serve as a doomsday buffer zone, where Russia can relocate defense industries, nuclear forces, and strategic reserves deep into its territory, far beyond the reach of NATO's potential first strikes. Military analysts around the world have repeatedly acknowledged that monitoring the entirety of Siberia by satellite is nearly impossible. Russia's mobile missile launchers can constantly change positions across millions of square kilometers of dense taiga forests. This is an advantage no other nuclear superpower truly possesses. For this reason, strategic missile systems such as the 28 rupees Sarmat, Avangard, and Yars are often deployed deep inside Siberian territory to ensure Russia retains nuclear retaliation capability even if Moscow itself were attacked. Beyond its military role, Siberia is also an enormous energy treasure that has helped Russia withstand severe Western sanctions since 2022. According to numerous international estimates, the majority of Russia's oil and natural gas reserves are located in western Siberia and the Arctic region. The West Siberian Basin alone is considered one of the largest oil and gas basins in the world, containing tens of billions of barrels of oil and vast amounts of natural gas capable of supplying Europe for decades. What is particularly striking is that the more Russia is sanctioned, the more aggressively it pivots toward Asia. Instead of relying primarily on Europe as it once did, Moscow has constructed a network of strategic energy corridors aimed directly at China. The Power of Siberia 1 project, valued at roughly $400 billion over 30 years, has transformed China into Russia's largest gas customer. The pipeline, stretching over 3,000 kilometers, transports approximately 38 billion cubic meters of natural gas annually from massive gas fields in Yakutia and Irkutsk into China. And that is only the beginning. The even larger Power of Siberia 2 project is now being actively pursued. If completed, the pipeline could deliver an additional 50 billion cubic meters of gas annually to China through Mongolia. In practical terms, Russia is gradually replacing the European energy market with Asia while simultaneously forging an extremely powerful economic and energy alliance with Beijing. From the perspective of American strategists, this is where the real danger emerges. Because when Siberia's seemingly endless natural resources combine with China's industrial manufacturing power, a massive Eurasian geopolitical bloc begins to take shape, one unlike anything seen in modern history. China is currently the world's largest energy consumer. Yet Beijing has long faced a strategic nightmare commonly known as the Malacca Dilemma, the fear that the United States Navy could blockade the Strait of Malacca, the critical maritime choke point through which much of China's imported energy flows. And at precisely that moment, Russia appeared as a strategic lifeline. No LNG tankers crossing vulnerable oceans. No dependence on maritime routes dominated by the United States. From deep within Siberia, Russia's giant energy pipelines can pump tens of billions of cubic meters of gas and oil directly into China entirely by land, a supply route that is almost impossible for Western naval forces to blockade. This is no longer merely energy trade. It is a strategic bond designed to last for decades. As China becomes increasingly dependent on stable Siberian energy supplies, and Russia grows more reliant on China's vast consumer market, a colossal Eurasian economic and energy alliance is steadily being built across the continent. And this is what worries Washington more than any missile system. Because if Russia possesses the resources while China controls the world's largest industrial machine, their combination could create an entirely new center of global power, one capable of challenging the long-standing dominance of the US dollar and the Western-led economic order that has shaped the world for decades. But Siberia holds another card that receives far less global attention: the Arctic. As climate change accelerates the melting of Arctic ice, The northern sea route along Siberia's coastline is rapidly emerging as the new Suez Canal of the 21st century. This route can reduce shipping times between Asia and Europe by nearly half. And Russia is currently the only nation truly capable of controlling it. Moscow has already built the world's largest icebreaker fleet, consisting of more than 40 vessels, including gigantic nuclear-powered icebreakers that no other country possesses. These ships guide commercial convoys through the Arctic year-round while simultaneously helping Russia secure vast natural resources hidden beneath the Arctic seabed. According to estimates from the U.S. Geological Survey (USGS), the Arctic may contain roughly 90 billion barrels of undiscovered oil and tens of trillions of cubic meters of natural gas. Much of these resources lie near Siberia and Russia's Arctic continental shelf. This has turned the Arctic into what many analysts describe as humanity's last great energy goldmine. In the future, as global resources become increasingly scarce, Siberia's strategic value may rise even further. Beyond oil and gas, the region also contains enormous reserves of nickel, cobalt, palladium, and rare earth minerals, critical materials for electric vehicle batteries, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and advanced military technology. For this reason, Siberia has never been the barren frozen wasteland many people imagine. For Russia, it is the final fortress, an inexhaustible reservoir of resources, the ultimate nuclear stronghold, and the foundation that allows Moscow to maintain its superpower status in the 21st century. If the 20th century was defined by Middle Eastern oil, then the 21st century may very well become the century of Siberia and the Arctic.